What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just United here with myself and my bro Hamza. Not
Oh, we won a game. We won a game. It was against Barnsley, but we won a game at Old Trafford. It was great to see how Man United and even Anthony got into the score sheet. It's crazy to see, but
just about.
just about got a penalty. It could have been Rashford's hat trick. It could have been Garnacho's hat trick. But no, fantastic to see Manchester United win. And we won against Southampton, which was great to see an away win as well. And hopefully Eric Ten Hag's away form continues because who are we talking about today, Gov?
Well, one of the players I want to talk about is Alejandro Garnacho.
And he
Um,
played last season against Crystal Palace. And in this preview, we have to go back to that 4-0 defeat we had last season against Crystal Palace. No Elise this time, but still Oliver Glasner's there and
I
Everett
know,
Chiesa.
no, no, I'm hoping this boy here can change it for us.
Talk to us.
He's a
Talk to
great.
us about Garnacho. Let's hear it.
He's doing great, and I think I seen a stat somewhere where he had 56 appearances, 10 goals and 5 assists or something like that. And he's already within in the last six or seven appearances, he's come close to basically beating that already.
Oh, okay.
Um, and so it shows that he's starting to pick up form and get back to his old self. Obviously, I know he's been in and out of the team, sitting on the bench for the most part. But yeah, he was a great impact player as well when he first burst onto the scene, and I think we're getting that hunger back from him. He just wants to be involved in everything.
But do you
Um,
see him starting on the weekend? Because Ahmad's been very good. It's probably been our best attacker so far this season. Marcus Rashford is obviously our senior attacker on the
I'd
left
like
wing.
I'd like to think so.
Okay.
Just because it not only gives him confidence that he's getting picked, it gives Ahmad a rest. We should be able to beat Palace. I know they beat us last season, but and after the Barnsley game, he was linking well with Rashford in that front three.
Yes.
So I think it was good from him in that sense. But yeah, I'm hoping he starts just because Ahmad, yeah, he's great, and he does get the goal and he does run and he's direct. But in terms of link up and just getting securing the win first out of everything, I think Garnacho just has that little bit more. And I think he just deserves to start now. He's scored and assisted in the last few games.
For me, I'm
Um,
still not sure what his best position is because I really like seeing him as a right winger, where he's more of a service winger. He does have to try and dribble in and shoot all the time. He's good at crossing the ball in on his right foot as opposed to his weaker foot as much on his left foot. So for me, I really want to see Garnacho play as a right winger, but I don't really see it when he's overtaken Ahmad. And as we've seen with Ahmad, he's very comfortable behind the striker or on the right wing as well. So those two fighting for a position.
I
It's
think
healthy competition, which is great.
it's gonna be bad to say this now, but I think he's got a better way of playing on the left. But obviously, we know that position's occupied by Marcus Rashford, and we know Ten Hag isn't going to drop him now.
He's getting his form slowly
Um,
back with Marcus Rashford. That's all we want to see. His form getting
exactly.
back together.
So I do think Garnacho plays well off the left. And obviously, when we had Anthony on the right, that's the reason Garnacho started playing on the right because Anthony just wasn't producing anything. And obviously, we've got Ahmad now. But yeah, I hope Garnacho gets to start and continue his form. And it's good competition at the end of the day.
We'll be able
Uh,
to see that in your match day predictions for your squad as well. So we'll be able to see that later on.
But another player that I want to talk about, which isn't a United player, is Ebreze. Um,
Are you going to talk about his fashion sense? You've seen that picture of him.
no, what was the picture?
It's of him basically looking like an old lady. He had like a hijab on, like a little headscarf on, which is crazy. I'm like, come on, Everett, you've done better than that.
Just trying to hide his face maybe a little bit when he goes out.
Ah, it's crazy. I'm gonna have to
Or do
show.
you think he's just that was the fashion? Do you think he was trying to hide from Paps?
It's insane because I'm gonna have to find it. We'll put it onto your if we can put it onto the screen later on for your edit, it'll be fine. But it's ridiculous. There, look, that's Everett Chiesa. Everett Chiesa.
He looks like my grandma.
He's literally just looking there like he's going for a shop. He's going to Asda.
Oh
Little
my
trick to
god.
Asda. That's the picture you should be using for that video. That's all I'm saying, man.
But
But
yeah,
we can only clown him on his fashion. We can't clown him on his footballing ability. Fantastic player to watch. He was fantastic at the European Championships for England as well. Plays as a fullback and as a wing back at times, which is
very
insane.
sharp.
But He did tear us apart last season under Oliver Glasner at Selhurst Park. Him and Michael Elise, they were the dynamic duo that shredded Manchester United. Not just Casemiro, but the whole defense was ruined after that. And psychologically, it got really, really embarrassing to see how Man United could get embarrassed like that. And when you've got someone on the other side like that, I personally think is going to improve Crystal Palace even further. And it's going to be a big thing to actually see how can Eberechi Eze actually eclipse Wilfried Zaha's legacy as a Crystal Palace player. What do you think?
I think he already has.
I don't think so just yet. I don't think so just yet. Because
I don't know
Zaha
if I,
South London,
he
it's
was
from the
good.
academy.
Zaha was. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, he
They
was a
got to an
really
FA
good,
Cup final as well,
really
remember?
good player for Palace.
Mm.
But I don't know. I think Eze is just a different level. Or just, he's. I don't know whether it's his age. He's just fearless when he plays. But yeah, I do think he'll do better than Zaha.
Yeah.
If I know you don't agree with me when I say I think he already has, but I don't know.
That's for the audience
Just
to decide below as well, which would be great.
but
But
yeah, I think he will. Yeah, which is why I wanted to talk about him today, just because we've got to watch out for him. Obviously, we know they got other players which we'll come into a little bit later, but him for me is going to be the player where we've got a lockdown, and then if he's not getting any joy, the rest of the players, the rest of the Palace players maybe think to themselves, "Oh, do you know what? If he's not doing anything, maybe we can't." Um, but yeah, that's definitely one. But we'll go into the starting 11s. We'll
yeah,
go.
for yours first or my
We'll
first?
start with yours.
Oh,
Yours first.
forgot what I said, audience. Just have to rely upon me to know that I knew what I was talking about once upon a time. But yeah, Diogo Dalot, I think, yeah, put him at left back as well. Manuel Ugarte started against Barnsley, so I'd like to see him start next to Kobbie Mainoo at the same time. I still want to see a defense of Harry Maguire and Delit together personally because I think they'll be really good together. But I know the left-footed and right-foot combination is now on vogue for a lot of defensive coaches now, let alone managers. So to see Ten Hag to put Martinez and Delit together will be very big. I'm still starting Ahmad. Garnacho is absolutely fantastic off the bench and a great alternative to what we've already got. And the fact that they're already scoring is great to see. But like I said on Friday Night Counter Attack this week, my key battle is going to have to be Joshua Zirkzee as our 9, or as Govinda said on Friday Night Counter Attack, 9.5 against Mark Guehi. So Mark Guehi is the most likely to start, Uncle Mark as they call him in the England camp. But that's going to be a really, really big battle. And we've not really seen Zirkzee challenge many defenders so far with his physicality, with his pace, with his off the ball runs as well. So this is where we're going to have to see
It's going to
what
be a
it's
good
like off the
matchup.
ball as opposed to being on the ball as well. So that's my initial predicted 11. What do you think of it?
It's not too different from mine, to be fair.
Okay.
Obviously, like I said, I wanted Garnacho to start, but yeah, it looks pretty solid.
Happy with Ugarte starting?
Yeah, I'd like to see him start a game. I don't think Palace is. Obviously, we keep saying we got beat by them, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a tough game for him to kind of come into
He's
and
saying
try and
we, but he's the one
take
saying that.
some.
I'm still scared of this game. I'm still scared of Palace under Glasner.
Really,
Yeah. Top team they can be
with this
against
team that
anyone.
you've picked, though, you don't think that you could beat them?
The team on paper always looks good at Manchester United. The players we've seen here have always looked good at Manchester United. But when you're looking at it, all it will take is one or two silly things to happen. And I said it last week as well. When we played Southampton, if Archer scored that goal, that penalty, it's a very different narrative right now. If Garnacho was onside or if Zirkzee was onside for the Brighton goal, different narrative completely to that Brighton game at the same time. And so all these if spots and maybes, but I just want to see more routine wins for Manchester United. I don't think it'll be routine against Crystal Palace if we do win. It'll be a very tough test, nevertheless.
Okay, so I've
Um,
gone slightly different, like I said, to your team.
okay,
Defense is exactly the same.
yeah,
But in midfield, I've gone Casemiro and Ugarte.
okay,
I've
nice.
dropped Kobe Mainoo. I think he needs a rest. Obviously, we're talking on Friday night counter attack
Mm.
about the burnout that these games will cause over
Especially
the
for
course of
young
a
players, yeah.
period. And obviously, I've gone with Garnacho on the right and Zirkzee up top, Rashford on the left. Obviously, an honour in goal.
The
Uh,
reason I started Kobbie Mainoo is because we've got the Europa League coming up as well. I think it's FC20 that
yeah,
we've got. That's where I'd rest my players, my key players more often. If we were in the Champions
I
League,
don't, I,
completely understand. But with the league,
personally,
I'd rather rest them in the Europa League.
yeah, I don't personally. I don't think that Ten Hag will rest Kobe Mainoo,
Mm.
and he will play Casemiro and a guy. But I just want to see that combination.
Same.
because they're both destroyers. Both, and they can both handle the ball.
Yes.
And if you've got that extra protection on the defense, then it's just solid, isn't it? And then yeah, Kobe Mainoo gets a break.
And you
Um,
also said on Friday Night Counter Attack as well. So we keep referring to it, but he was on my podcast as well this week, which is great. You mentioned about Mason Mount and Hoyland potentially coming back. Have you got any news on that, or is it unsure if they're going to
so
be making any
Mason
minutes?
Mount have been training.
Yes,
Not 100% if they're gonna be involved in the squad or not. We know Ten Hag likes to build them in slowly when they come back from injury.
nice.
Um,
Hopefully,
Hopefully they'll be involved. It'll make our bench a lot stronger in terms of having them Mason Mount and Hoyland on there. Um, but yeah, I don't know if they'll be involved or not because Mason Mount's been injured most of last season.
most of his
Um,
life really at
um,
Manchester United, which is
exactly,
cool.
yeah, and I don't know if Ten Hag will want to take the risk with him. Same with Hoyland. He's had a recurring hamstring injury a few times now. Will he take the risk? I'm not sure. It's like the Barnsley game. You win 7-0. You want those kind of performances, those games where
And with
you
the
don't need
Barnsley
to
game,
bring any.
he still brought on Bruno Fernandes at 5-0,
I
6-0.
think
I
that's
didn't
just
get that.
rhythm. I think that's just to keep the rhythm of
I still want to
match
see
rhythm.
Ethan Wheatley get some minutes as well. He deserved it for me
But
at
yeah,
least.
that's my starting 11.
Nice.
Like I said, I don't know if he will start Casemiro and Ugarte together. It would be interesting to see just to keep that defense backed up. Um, yeah, and then now we're going to talk a little bit about Palace and their tactics and how they
Oh, we
played.
spoke about a player who's come into Palace this season who looks like he could potentially cause Man United some danger in the defence, and it's not Daichi Kamada, who I predicted at the start of the season. Could be Eddie Nketiah, right? We
Yeah,
spoke about him
yeah,
before, and the fact that he's not playing as the main striker, but he's playing alongside Eberechi Eze behind Mateta, like they did in the Carabao Cup, and Eberechi Eze slotted through Nketiah for a fantastic finish against QPR, which was fantastic to see the England international, because he's played for England, Eberechi Eze, shine in that assistant role as well. But Eddie Nketiah, talk to us, talk to the audience about how you think he could become a danger man for someone like Matthias Delit, who's not the quickest of centre backs. What do
well,
you think?
we've seen how Crystal Palace like to line up in their attack. They like to play with three at the back, three in midfield, and then four players attacking up top.
Mm.
And obviously, usually they line up with a back three and then four in midfield and then three up top. But
Using their wing backs properly as well.
I think they can really try and exploit. Obviously, Dallo is not his natural position, playing left back. Nketiah could exploit that,
Yeah,
heading straight for him. Martinez, I don't think has much of an issue with a lot of players. I think he's always direct and gets in there to make that tackle. But yeah, with the way they like to attack and how they like to play, it's going to be very difficult for us just because
absolutely. Because remember the
of
amount of shots we conceded against them last season as well.
and
Very difficult.
yeah,
And they beat us both times as well, home
uh,
and away.
it's hard to take. It's hard to take. So obviously, Ten Hag will be looking back at those games, what we done wrong in those games, and how he can probably be better in that. But
Yeah.
we've got a solid defense now, solid partnership in defense at centre back, and hopefully Martinez and Delit can carry that on and be a blocking force against these kind of players. We because we know they like to get into the box and use their wing backs, as you said.
So with Crystal Palace, we've spoken about Eberechi Eze, we've spoken about Eddie Nketiah. Their attack is looking quite good from what we've seen on paper. Is there anyone in defence besides Mark Guehi, who I discussed earlier, that we should be looking out for? Maybe Munoz, maybe their fullback, maybe Dean Henderson as well. He's got a point to prove, right? Former Man United goalkeeper.
I
What do you
think,
think?
yeah, he could have a man in the match performance, and we might not score a goal.
Another one.
Um, we always have these players come back and haunt us some way or another. But yeah, I hope we carry on the form from the Barnsley game, and yeah, I don't think I see any other than their front. Obviously, their front three. I don't see any other
Mateta.
I don't see any other issues really in their team. Nathaniel Klein, obviously ex Liverpool, might want to put in a man of the match performance against Marcus Rashford. Obviously, that could be a problem. But I
Mine is
think
more Munoz because Munoz, the right wing back, is going to be very difficult to play against. Because you mentioned Dallo playing out of position at left wing back as well. At left back, sorry. Still not got Malacia. Still not got Luke Shaw. Harry Amas didn't play on the week as well against Barnsley. So Diogo Dallo, who had to come on as a sub, he still didn't get a proper break from what I saw as well. So Munoz is going to be a tough opponent for both Rashford because they'll be dragging Rashford back, and like you said with Nathaniel Klein as well, that'll be very very difficult on that right hand side for Crystal Palace with Klein, Munoz, and Eddie Nketiah will probably be their starting three on that right hand side for them as well, which will be very difficult. But that's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Okay.
A different setup because it's a 3-4-2-1 formation, like we said about Crystal Palace as well. Something we've not really experienced yet this season. So let's see if Eric Ten Hag has learned his lesson because it's a big, big change
Okay.
from Roy Hodgson Crystal Palace to
Seeing if he's
Glasgow.
learned his lesson, what's your prediction for the game?
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Genuinely, I don't think
Okay.
it's going to be a great game for Manchester United fans to be watching. It feels like a game where we then get scrap a last minute winner or a 85-minute winner and it gets ruled out for VAR and whatnot. It's one of those things that I've got in my mind. But we just need to see better performances on the pitch. We saw great against the League One side. In reality, we were playing against the League One side and Anthony scored. But now we've got to see if these players are dependable against top opposition in a
Okay.
tough
I'm gonna
tough
go,
environment.
as I said on your show, I'm gonna go 3-1 United. I hope we continue our form, and everybody, all of our attacking players have scored recently, and maybe they'll just be charged up for this game. But that was a Man United preview for the Crystal Palace game, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys.
Agree or disagree?
See you
Comment below,
later.
and we'll see you later.